Hi, this is Levin with an update on the Producer's Live letter for 6.3 changes of Paladin. So, as we know, Yoshi has been telling us since the last live letter that Paladin is gonna experience a major rework. This is due to it being lackluster in burst damage, which I kinda like on Paladin, but it is what it is, I guess. We don't have a gameplay footage yet, but they gave us some reasonings for the rework and a few of other information for the changes that Paladin will experience. So that's what I will be covering today, and I will give you my thoughts about the changes. So first off, adjustment objectives. So they will be improving ability to deal burst damage by adjusting action efficiency and rotations. I don't agree in general, since doing constant damage is what makes Paladin unique in the first place. But I guess I kinda understand in the context of balancing the class, since Paladin is much worse if the fight has more downtime, which makes it much worse in ultimate fights, since ultimates got so many downtimes. The second reasoning is that improving versatility by decreasing reliance on damage over time, which I also don't agree with this, since Paladin currently is the only tank that has DOT uptime. It makes the class, again, unique in my opinion. Also because the class is not that dependent on it anymore, with slow Paladin rotation being the current meta. It deals more damage with lower DOT uptime. I think it's about 80% in slow Paladin rotation compared to fast Paladin rotation, which gives like 97 to 99% of DOT uptime. The third point on why they do this rework is improving usability of certain defensive abilities. I think this is the best reason for the rework, because in general, mitigation optimization has been a problem in Paladin, which makes half of the skill disparities between Paladin. For example, like Divine Fail timing, where you need to pop it with your magic rotation or get healed by the healers, is not very easy to use. And Passage of Harms is even harder with animation lock if you want to keep uptime or directional cone it faces. Also, with intervention being unusable to yourself and Paladin being lackluster in self-mitigation, or maybe cover with a very short tether length, it's very hard to use. So I completely agree with this. So overall, I agree to the reasons of why they need to change this class, but also a bit sad because Paladin is a very unique tank in my opinion. But it is what it is. So that's all the reason for the rework, but they also revealed some of the changes. But we still don't know how good it is until the patch actually drops. But here are some of my thoughts on the changes. So the first change is rotations have been shortened to accommodate high-powered actions. This is in response to the Paladin being bursty in this new patch instead of consistent damage dealer, but it's very vague and we don't know for sure what is changed in the rotation until the patch is released or a gameplay footage is released. The second change that they mentioned is damage over time effect for Goring Blade and Blade of Valor was removed and their potency was adjusted. This is a bit weird for me since I like Paladin for being the only tank that has DOT. And even weirder because the whole purpose of Goring Blade is DOT. With it being gone, the whole rotation will change. Will Royal Authority be removed and Goring Blade gives atonement? Or there's no more atonement and Royal Authority? We will never know till the patch drops or see a gameplay footage, but I'm excited to see what it will be of the rotation. Now, I think this is the most exciting change that will happen. Divine Might is now applied after weapon skill combos, allowing an enhanced Holy Spirit to be executed once without casting. So, this means there's no more Requiescat. I assume. We don't know for sure. It might be not. But Divine Might is definitely the new skill that we are talking about right now. But it only gives one enhanced Holy Spirit without casting. So does this mean no more Confiteor combo? Or maybe the Confiteor is no longer tied to magic combo. So maybe 1-2 Goring Blade and then it gives Divine Might. Then you go into Confiteor. But it also says enhanced Holy Spirit, so I'm not sure where to put Holy Spirit within this rotation. We can never tell. It's all possible right now. I think we'll just have to wait and see how Divine Might works. Holy Sheltron's effect has been changed to reduce damage taken, thereby enhancing defensive capabilities against DOT. Okay, so this is interesting. I think this is a very good change since Sheltron was only a block and it only reduced the damage from initial hit. It was highly dependent on Knight's Benediction buff, which only lasts like 4 seconds with 15% mitigation, making it more difficult for newer Paladin players, especially during the Abyssos tier, which is right now, where all tank busters gives DOT. I think it's overall a very good change. This is a very good change. I think this makes up for Paladin's lack of self-mitigation compared to other tanks, like Gunbreaker has Camouflage or Dark Knight has Dark Mind, and Warrior has a Thrill of Battle. But at the same time, Paladin has more rate white mitigation than other tanks, and it's a bit unfair in my opinion, although they're much harder to use and very situational. But I think they shouldn't be removing those rate white mitigations, because that's what makes Paladin unique, in my opinion. From what we know previously, Bulwark was very similar on how Shelton works, but since they said it has been revamped, I expect it to be like 10% damage reduction instead of 60% block rate, with 90 or possibly 60 second cooldown, more similar to Camouflage or Dark Mind, I think. And I think that's it for the Producer's Live letter information on the Paladin changes. Overall, I think it's gonna be interesting on the rotation, although I dislike Paladin being bursty and lost its uniqueness, but I also like the mitigation changes. I think it's a very positive change overall, and yeah, you can tell me what you think of Paladin in 6.3. Do you think it will be good, or do you think it will be bad, or do you agree and disagree with me? Leave a comment below and let's discuss it. See you guys.